Hi, friends. It's me, Donna Maria. Just wanted to say congratulations. You made it to the end of class. I'll be covering the week 14 discussion board dialogue where we talk more about the book Significant. And Dr. Brown had signed mine. I have an autographed copy. I'm sure he would be happy to do that for you if you were interested. But let's go ahead and jump right in here. So the first question is, what have you learned from Significant about biological weapons that you did not know beforehand? Did it cause you to want to know more? Please explain. Well, in reading the responses, it seems that we have a lot of military folks in our class, and not a lot of folks were surprised by anything. And having lived through COVID-19, so many people had said, I don't really want to learn more about it because it's kind of scary. We did go through this. But I did want to share. Lucas has said, if I had read the book before COVID-19, perhaps some of the biotech details would have piqued my curiosity. Okay. And then Lucas shares that his focus when reading the book wasn't on the weapons themselves, but on the people involved. I love this, Lucas. This is so important. The human element is paramount in this book. So good job picking up on that. Let's see. Daryl served in the military for 25 years. Thank you for your service. He says, so there was not much I learned about biological weapons. He did have a better understanding of the importance of secrecy and logistics, okay, when it comes to warfare. And, I thought also that trust and open-mindedness was something that, I had picked up when I had read this book. But those are good insights, Daryl. Carrie, also in the military, an intelligence officer. Frederick, an Army veteran. Thank you for your service, both of you. Frederick, my dad was an Army veteran. So Frederick says, the subject of bioweapons, nothing new to me. Something I've always trained for. Okay, all right, that's understandable. All of these are certainly understandable. Okay, in the last 18 chapters of the novel Significant, how did the author seek to create a narrative that argues that ordinary citizens, not government bureaucracies, are better equipped to forge bonds that work toward international peace? I mean, in this book, we have a group of iGen or Gen Z geniuses who are coming together, just friends with their mentors to solve or prevent a global biological attack. I don't know what y'all were doing at 16, but I certainly was not doing anything like Johan, that's for sure. But many of you mentioned trust as part of the narrative that argues for ordinary citizens, not government bureaucracies. That maybe trust could be more easily established among individuals, ordinary citizens versus government bureaucracies. Talked about propaganda, misinformation, fake news. Cassie mentions the author's use of empathy among ordinary citizens versus government bureaucracies. Yes, Cassie, certainly when we think about empathy, the first thing that doesn't come to my mind is government, right? So let's see. Holly, Julie, Cassie all mentioned that. Frederick mentioned respect. Josh, Daniel mentioned stereotyping. Kiri and Daniel mentioned friendships. Daniel, I thought this was interesting that you brought up 24 and Jack Bauer. And he says, while that would be the ideal of ordinary citizens working together, I do not know that that would prevent a government from arresting them all. Even Jack Bauer in the hit series 24 eventually faced consequences for his actions against the Chinese government. As one character in the show said, quote, China remembers Mr. Bauer. Those words carried massive weight as the Chinese government kidnapped and tortured power. So that's very good, Daniel. Good, good, good. All right, question 3. In the last 18 chapters of the novel Significant, how did the author seek to play with reality by weaving in and out of dreams of the main character, and for what purpose? So Daniel says, nightmares carry actual, let me turn on some more light here. Nightmares carry actual weight in the story, especially as different characters share them. It made me wonder if the nightmares were premonitions or not. This reminded Daniel of the book or of the movie La Bamba with Richie Valens. And he says these premonitions in the biopic of rock and roll pioneer biopic of rock and roll pioneer Richie Valens in the film La Bamba. This film, Richie is constantly haunted by nightmares of planes crashing. I remember that. It's been so long since I saw that film. Good connection. I appreciate that, Daniel. Whether Valens had these premonitions or not, it was an effective use of storytelling in the film, foreshadowing Richie's death alongside fellow rock legends, the Big Bopper and Buddy Holly in 1959. Okay, good. Okay, Carrie. Carrie says the dreams seem to operate in 2 ways. First, are the dreams in which Johann imagines the life of contentment, joy, love, and belonging with the people he cares about. He also dreams of the ideal world. I also had clarity on another dream too, a dream that I lived in a more peaceful world where evil was subdued and where selfishness, hate, and brutality were deviations from normal life rather than common behavior. And you can find that in chapter 26, section 2, paragraph 1. Very good. All right. Cassie mentions foreshadowing. She says, Johann's dreams of violence act as foreshadowing for what is to come in the story, as well as for what he will eventually learn about himself. That's good. The level of violence and the staying power of those dreams have on Johann insert a sense of tension and dread to the scenes, which can ramp up the concern readers may feel as the plot continues. The culmination of Johann's dreams as being a sort of memory, remember, of his near-death experience of the abortion. So his near-death by abortion, but in a way that brought the story around full circle with the first few chapters. And Julie, my girl, mentions the narrative arc. That is so important, Julie. Now, you guys remember, what is the narrative arc in storytelling? Well, it helps us create that sense of coherence and structure for the audience. It helps us to convey themes and through the action and experiences of the characters. It's the structure or the shape of, it's the structure or the framework of the shape. So remember, you've got the beginning, the middle, and the ending. And then it refers to the ways in which we organize stories and how events and characters develop and change over time. So that was excellent note to make, Julie, about the narrative arc. Okay, Josh, Seth, Holly, Lucas all mentioned the foreshadowing. Cassie mentioned bookending. Daniel, dreams give us insight into characters' motivations and thought patterns, essentially what's weighing on their minds. And Frederick, insignificant, these dreams show readers that nightmares are not all bad because they can be used for good. This goodness was evidenced by Johann avoiding death on all accounts and his accomplishments and his relationships found along the way. Yeah, good. That's good stuff. All right, the next question. After finishing the novel Significant, could you discern the kappa element? Remember what the kappa element is, right? It's that tremendous hidden depth that allows writers and readers alike to explore ideas without the traditional narrative models, according to Kiri in Chamomile 2018, page 28. The kappa element also reflects the passion and enjoyment of the writer. That's right. Okay, so Kiri goes on to say the significance of every individual in the world and how we can all affect one another, even in the smallest of ways, and help make each other's lives better. From my understanding, Brown has a great passion for telling stories that focuses on interpersonal relationships. Okay, very good. Yeah, that's good stuff. It's like a spider web, right? If you pluck one strand of the spider web, the whole web is going to be affected. So it's very much the same. Okay, the Kappa element, or the tremendous hidden truth, according to Holly, Lucas, Daniel, Daryl, Kiri, all mention human life. Yes, and we are all significant. Cassie, I like how Cassie incorporates, she said it very succinctly, one world, one people. That's interesting. Julie, global society, again, getting that one world, one people. Lucas, I don't know. When I read Lucas's, I just was blown away by this insight. So I just have to read this directly to you. Hang with me, okay? It's so good. Lucas says, I believe Brown's Kappa element is the story of Christ's birth and life lived for our salvation. The book is even set during the Christmas season. I mean, how did I miss this, right? Johann was an unplanned pregnancy, sound familiar, and his gentle, intelligent demeanor is repeatedly referenced, as is his quest for finding purpose. The story is filled with what the characters refer to as miracles, and it even references at length the Apostle Paul's miracles in Malta. As the plot continues to show bad actors framing a conflict as something other than their own doing, I'm reminded of how Satan wants us to ignore the eternal conflict between good and evil, focusing our distrust and hatred on one another instead. The result of Johann's successful mission and significant life lived in relationship among imperfect others, and millions were saved. I don't know. I just thought that was so insightful. I mean, I hadn't considered that, Lucas, but that's really, really good. Good thinking. Okay, y'all, let's get to this last question. What is another example of a fictional story that influenced your own life and helped you to learn something important that you did not know? Nathan mentions Peretti's Piercing the Darkness and this Present Darkness series. Lucas mentions The Little Prince. I love that book, Lucas. Specifically from The Little Prince was the difference between random kindness and systematic kindness. That's a really great lesson. Julie, The Joy Luck Club. Cassie, Kingdom and the Crown. Holly, Harry Potter. My favorite. So I don't know what more to say other than congratulations. You are almost done. It's the last week of class. Just remember, as Dr. Brown stated in the announcements, that the final exam will be available Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So make sure you get in there and take the exam. We'll be grading your papers. Everything that's in will be done and given back to you. And congratulations. I'm so proud of all of you. I hope you've really enjoyed this class as much as I enjoyed it when I took it, and then also just being a part of it as Dr. Brown's GTA. So thank you guys. God bless you. If you have any questions, reach out to me or Dr. Brown, and we'll help you any way that we can. Okay? All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.